Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful but rainy Friday, May 9th, year of our Lord 2025. There's a new pope. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America, and I can prove it. The people who are in this administration are actually working for the American people. It's also the place for the brave, like the veterans we lost, but whom we bring to you today and celebrate with the help of John Basiliga and his great companies. Raymond Casa, Suskin, Thomas Blight, Luzerne, Ronald Krause, Upper Lehigh, Fritz Keeterling, West Pittston, Stephen Wejnert, Old Forge, Thomas Morris, West Scranton, James Wagner, Plymouth, Robert Godak, Covington Township, Thomas Giannetti. It doesn't say. Milton Hunzinger, Danville, Paul Roberts, late of the Gino Murley Veteran Center, but from Jefferson Township. Craig Wood, Nanticoke. William Uncle Bill Spindler, Scranton. George Smerecki, Taylor. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible founding fathers, that the government is not, shall not be, cannot be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom could not be parceled out to groups. It could not be controlled by government or government officials. Our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press. Yeah, well, they lie. So what? We know better. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because we had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And with that essential preamble dispensed with, we can gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you a sanctuary of sanity for the balance of the morning. And you need it. You need it. The Democrats just lying, and I'm just astonished by it every day. Continually astonished by it. Well, what has been happening? Let's talk about that. First of all, we got the new Pope. It seems like it's days ago to me. I was home watching that. Had to take the bulldog up to the vet, up to Countryside, or the bull mastiff, Chauncey. But I said, Chauncey, we've got to wait until there's a new pope. And I waited till the pope spoke and all of that. Benedict, what is he? Leo the 14th, right? So we got a new pope. He's American. I'm going to do no quibbling. Well, I am. He should have spoken English. A nod to his American background. I maybe thought it'd send the wrong signal. I don't know. I mean, here's the first American pope. He doesn't speak English. I didn't get it, but I don't get a lot of things. And then we had the Bidens on The View, and it was a disgraceful, sickening, dizzying performance. Whenever they got into anything of substance, like Biden basically proving that all the books that have come out about his mental foibles were true. And Jill bailing him out whenever, it was worse than the Belichick interview. She bailed him out more times than I thought. I was like, what? Wait, Jill, they didn't ask you a question. But the show's a disgrace. But and you know what? That finalized it. And I was watching Gutfeld last night, and my friend Larry Kudlow, he said it perfectly. Kudlow said, "Go away. No one wants to hear anything you have to say about anything." Remember I said that right after the election? He and Kamala, nobody cares what you think about anything. They care what Barack Obama's opinion is. They even care, which shocks me, what Michelle Obama's opinion is. They care about what Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton's opinion. They don't care about. Nobody wants to hear you. Go away. Please. Oh, we just breaking news. Former Supreme Court Justice David Souter passes away at age 85. One of the biggest disappointments on the Supreme Court ever. Well, Earl Warren was right up there, but in a different vein and a different time. Souter was awful. God bless him, and may he be in heaven. But what a horrible Supreme Court justice. I don't know if he was another one of them that got consumed by the Washington deal and just wanted to be popular and went to the left. I don't know. Anyway, he was awful. But God bless him. He's passed away at age 85. Remember, he resigned at a very young age and saved everybody the headache, by the way. But guess what? He resigned, appointed by George Bush, the father. He resigned so that a Democrat could be appointed in his place, a left-winger. And indeed, that's what happened. So the Bidens were on The View yesterday. We signed our first, and they're frameworks and they're this and they're that, the British trade deal. It's something that could start the process, and they're going over to China now, and Bessent is going, so that means it's important. They're going over to Europe to meet with the Chinese. The big, beautiful bill, I mean, this is so complicated. In the end, a lot of Republicans are going to have to hold their nose and go with it. I admit this. I'm selfish. I want Social Security, no tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Only one of those affects me. Although maybe I'll go get a job with tips. I don't know. But it's essential for the working class to get that they are important and to prove that the Democrats hate them. The Democrats hate working America. Absolutely hate them. They are merely pawns on the table. That's it. They're the exact opposite of what they claim they are. All of that. So, Pope, the Bidens on The View, British trade deal, the big, beautiful bill moving forward. And somebody says, Bobby, when in Rome, you do Roman things like speak Italian. Then he spoke Spanish also, though. Sean from Larksville. Sean continues, he's a Roman Catholic Pope. Makes sense to me. I have high hope for the Pope, for Pope Leo, a.k.a. Pope Bob. Sean from Lawrenceville. I'm not sure what that exactly means. No, but he spoke Spanish. He spoke Spanish. So we'll see. In any event. That's kind of the things we're going to talk about. So yesterday, I take the Bull Mastiff, and we had to deliver some furniture. I told you we got our furniture from Jerry's up for all seasons. The back porch furniture, which we love. Couldn't use last night. We had hoped to. Our friend Leah Giannakopoulos, the great realtor, she came over the house, and she brought this takeout from the Far Street Tavern. Oh, my God. It's beyond good. Beyond good. It was just, and so I only tasted it because I can't eat after a certain time. But it was wings and burgers and fries. It was unbelievable. I just said, man, if you can't go to the Far, you can't hang out, take out. Oh, so I'm getting corrected here. Good. In Peru, where he served some of his cardinalship, they called him Father Bob. All right. Bob is his first name before what? Let's see what this is. Before Leo. Okay. All right. Thank you. Somebody says, I don't understand why there would be no tax on tips. That's kind of ridiculous. It could get ridiculous if it's not drafted properly and enforced properly. So, these are like hardworking people. And that's where shortages are. And if you could work as a barista, or you could work as a waitress or a waiter or a bartender, which we need, and certainly need good ones, and you don't have to worry, because remember what happens. Look, when I bartend, I didn't declare any of the tips. I know. But when people pay with a credit card, well, that's out there and is exposed, and you really don't report it at your risk. So that's for working class people. Paul from Larksville says, the tariffs are doing such a good job, even the Pope is made in America. So the Pope's birth name is Robert. That's how I came up with Pope Bob. Okay, I'm with you. Bob, if you listen to the ABC coverage during Sue's show, because that's when it happened, during Sue's show after this, the interpreter sucked. Swear he missed over half the speech. Yeah. And for some reason, I was watching it on Fox, and they had to go to something got knocked out of whack for their television coverage, and they had to go to the radio people. And they were not very good, frankly. I couldn't, they were like talking under their breath. But it was beautiful. I admit to this. I got tears in my eyes as it was happening, as the Pope came out. I have a lot of concerns. I don't want another Pope Francis, another liberal, another lefty. I don't want that for my church. I want him to stay out of climate change and out of the illegal migration nonsense, which is destroying Europe and has the potential to destroy this country. Stay out of it. Tell us about communion. Worry about divorce and women in the priest. So he's a Francis protege, so I don't have really high hopes, but I have hope. But the ceremony, the consequence of it was, I'm telling you, I had tears in my eyes watching. I really did. So, in any event, somebody says 2 stories of note this morning. WBRE. Congressman Rob Bresnahan went to see the flood damage in Honesdale. And to put together a plan, Mayor Many Names, that's Mayor Cognetti in Scranton, would send a group to take notes and hire a consultant firm to decide what to do. Exactly. Donahue and Kozarowski cite all the states around us have legal weed. Isn't that the same when you were a kid and your parents would say, if everyone jumped off the bridge, are you going to also? These people are children. Yeah. But I don't know. If somebody wants to do pot, why should it be illegal? That's my view. I don't think it's good for anybody. I don't think it's good for the country. But I don't think the government has the right to tell people not to smoke it. Then I don't see any big tax benefits. They're going to blow all the money anyway, as a lot of you were pointing out yesterday. So I'm not on the pot bandwagon. I'm just not against it. Whatever they do, fine. All right, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's do this. It's a Friday. It's rainy. We need the rain, though. Let's keep going, baby. I want to see that lake filled up when I go up next week, Lake Scranton. All right, time for the break. Let's hear from our great sponsors. A little history, a little music, and we'll be back. Murph tells us this date, 1960, Elvis Presley had the number one hit, Stuck on You. It was Elvis's 74th week at number one in only 5 years. Wow. And Woodrow Wilson, Mother's Day, 1914, the first time. And then the marketers got involved and said, wow, we can make a lot of money off this thing. And it became what we see today over many decades. Fred Duckman with a pun. I guess it's a pun that's just too weak. I'm not mentioning it, Fred. Sorry. So the Pope is the big deal here. How do non-Catholics feel about this? Do you care? Does it matter to you? I mean, it should, but not nearly as much as, say, my reaction. I don't know. I really don't know. Hey, I got a letter, and I do love getting snail mail here at the station. So it's from a listener by the name of Kurt Matuszek. He's a registered nurse. He works up at the prison up at Waymart, State Prison, SCI Waymart. And so there's a guy, he told me this sort of story in the letter, a guy named Eric Courtney Brown. And he's up there, and he's 6'3", bushy eyebrows, and bulging eyes that gives him a somewhat crazy appearance, he says. He's big, but he's got issues, health issues. And Courtney Brown, Kirk tells us, insisted on doing the laundry detail, the most labor-intensive job on the block. And he's just a courteous guy. Like, oh, he's in prison. He's in a tough place. But what Kirk's trying to point out is that every time he takes his meds, thank you, sir, I got them down. A very humble and respectful gesture, Kirk says. Because he's got to do a mouth check. He's got to make sure it happened. So Kirk says, one of my habits is to wear my shoes untied. And everybody will say, hey, your shoes are untied, da-da-da. And so Mr. Brown was sitting in a large blue plastic rocking chair and made the observation that my footwear was insecure. And for whatever reason, Kirk Matuszek, he says, are you okay with this? His response. Now, this is from our guy, Eric Courtney Brown. He said, I was in the Army, sir, and we are trained to look out for each other. Kirk says, the context slapped my head around. The people who are supposed to look out for me weren't, because he's having problems with SEIU, which is an awful union. They're all worried about politics. They're worried about a left-wing lunatic agenda, not the people they are supposed to represent. So when I saw SEIU, I said, I've dealt with them. Awful. Terrible. Guys, if you're in it, get out of it. Anyway, that's my comment. So the people who are supposed to look out for me weren't, and an inmate in jail for life that 99% of the world doesn't know about, and 1% that do see him as crazy nut has got my back. And so what did Kirk Matuszek do? He wrote a little poem. It says, when the hounds of hell are on attack and pushing my back against the wall, little Kirky be standing tall because E.C. Brown got his back. And he said, if there's any way to give a shout out to this guy, it would be a priceless gesture. And I hope you got him to listen today, Kirk. That's a big thing. He said the whole story reads like 3 strikes against the Spit Show, where every step our guy Eric rode was hard and he was put away wet, but it did not destroy the basic soul of who he is. He said the cops pinned a corpse on him when he was homeless in Pittsburgh. That's our guy, Eric Brown, Courtney Brown. And as Kirk Matuszek says, I have a hard time not believing him. That this guy was pegged with a murder that maybe they wanted to clear it. So shout out to Eric Courtney Brown, and of course to our guy Kirk Matuszek, who's a nurse up there, fighting the good fight with the union and administration, all of that. But he'll be able to retire this summer, I guess. But yeah, Eric Courtney Brown, shout out to you, my man. You hang in there. Which reminds me, there's a group of lifers down at SCI Coaldale. I went down to visit with them about, I don't know, I guess this is maybe a year and a half ago now. And man, to give somebody no hope, like, okay, you're never getting out. All they want is a chance. Just give us as many reviews or whatever. And you're mixed attitude on that, obviously. But some of these guys had really straightened out their lives in prison. Tough call. They have a banquet in June. I'm hoping I could go. But the timing of it interferes with the show. So I may not be able to get in there because you got to get in real early for security purposes. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll let you know all about it. But yeah, Eric Courtney Brown, shout out from registered nurse Kirk Matuszek up there at SCI Waymart. And hang in there, man. Hang in there, Eric Courtney Brown. We'll take a break and be back. Our veterans this hour and every hour. This day and every day. Brought to you by John Bassaliga and the Bassaliga companies. Well, it's the weekend. Mother's Day. And no place better to take Mom and to celebrate, just generally speaking, than the Old Brook Inn, 307 in Springbrook Township. Far Street Tavern, where we got those incredible takeouts last night. Trips Park section of West Scranton. Scranton Art House, place to watch a first-run movie, have a cocktail, have something good to eat in your comfortable chair. With Terra 519, this crown jewel. Can't wait to get there. Sergei's, the nightclub. Have a great weekend at any of these places. Well, we're doing more because, there's obituaries that I guess you got to pay for these obituaries. And some families maybe can't do it. So there's abbreviated obituaries. And I save them too. We don't have a lot of details on some of these veterans, but they need a tribute, nevertheless. Stephen Wedgenert, United States Marine Corps. He was Old Forge. He was only 60 when he passed away. Ronald Krause of Upper Lehigh. He was born in Freeland. Lutheran of faith. Honorably discharged Army veteran. Retired from Garland Industries in Freeland as an assembler. His wife of 43 years, Cora, survives him. Ronald Krause. Thomas Blight of Luzerne. Passed away February 26th. Born in Junedale. Attended Luzerne High School. And served his country during Vietnam War as a helicopter mechanic. Employed at Procter & Gamble for many years. He also operated Blight's Shooting Supplies out of his home. His son survives, Thomas Jr., a granddaughter, and other family members. Thomas Blight. Frederick Fritz Keiderling. Fritz was 78. He was from West Pittston, a proud Vietnam veteran. He then worked for the Painters Union. His wife, Nancy, survives him, as well as children, grandchildren, and a great-grandson, Fritz Keiderling. Raymond Casa. He was 75 when we lost him April 30th. He was from Suskin. Born New Brunswick, New Jersey. He was a United States Marine Corps veteran. His sons, 6 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren survive him. Raymond Casa. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga. And as we head into the weekend, Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast meteorologist Ali Gallo. A flood watch in effect for Lackawanna, Luzerne, Wayne, and Pike, and Susquehanna counties until 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Today, cloudy with rain, heavy at times, 55 degrees. Tonight, clouds and showers, low 45. Saturday, a chance of morning showers, then breaks of sun, breezy, 68. So getting better tomorrow. And then Sunday, almost perfect. Mother's Day, mostly sunny, high 75. Good stuff. So I've got to read these liners just to tell you what we're up to, WILK has tickets to the NASCAR Cup Series race, Sunday, June 22nd at Pocono Raceway. Enter to win grandstand tickets. The only place you can enter is WILKNewsRadio.com. Now, one of the grandstand ticket winners is going to win a Pocono Club tickets. Here's what they are. Infield parking pass, food and beverage, shaded seat, racing electronic scanner rental, and paddock pass ticket worth $1,000. NASCAR weekend at Pocono's June 19th to the 22nd. You can enter once a day. Go to WILKNewsRadio.com. And if you feel like a nut, as the commercial says, you can press watch when you go to WILKNewsRadio.com, and you'll see my smiling moon face. Quickly, so You know, when you've got a very fortunate life. Somebody says, Bob LTS, back at you. When are you going to bring back your Bob Behind Bars stories? I call it jailbreak. Because we take a break and we talk about jail. Maybe later today, something will come to mind. There's stories go on forever. Some of them can't be mentioned, but some can. Anyway, I have a Mother's Day story. Yeah, maybe the Mother's Day story I'll tell you. So anyway, I'm thinking to myself this morning. I take the dog out. Okay, so Chauncey, he's got to do his business, and he always goes number one, and I need him to go number two. What am I going to do? You got to put him back in the cage when I go to work, and Cutie goes to work. Well, he won't go, but he's ready to go. And then the neighbor who loves Chauncey comes, oh, hey, Chauncey, just as he's squatting. Now, it's pouring rain out there. Now, fortunately, I did bring an umbrella. So it's pouring. And the neighbor who loves him and feeds him pepperoni, and he's a great guy, Doc gives him, hey, and then he realizes, oh, I interrupted. So Chauncey gets distracted. So 20 more minutes. Oh, and then wouldn't you know, a car comes by and, hits a pothole. And then somebody walks by. And then the dog just keeps getting distracted. He won't go to the bathroom to save his life. So I go, okay, I've got to feed Ponth at some point. So the dog doesn't like it out in the rain. And I'm getting aggravated. I'm going, gagadooch, 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 which is, Italian slang for, what I want him to do. And so and we've got this routine we do when he's playing hard to get. So I let him in. And, feed Ponth, and he gets to lick the spoon from Ponth's thing. And it's a whole act. And then when Ponth gets a half a can at a time of the wet food, he's always got dry available to him. But anyway, Chauncey gets to lick the can. So we do that routine, and then I go, okay, I'm bringing him back out. We go back out into the rain again. Oh, well, he keeps pulling me to go back in, so I'm pulling him back out, and I'm getting aggravated, obviously. I wasted 40 minutes with the dog this morning. But I realized if that's my biggest problem, in the midst of it, I go, if this is my biggest aggravation, man, do I have it good. I am beyond fortunate. So, yeah. That was my trial and tribulation for the day. Much ado about very, very little. Isn't that's good? All right, we need to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. And when we come back, our girl, Lorraine, she's got her Mother's Day poem, which we heard yesterday in a different hour, so some of you may not have heard it. I asked her, would you please come and do it again? Well, she dutifully has agreed. She's on the blower, ready for action. So Lorraine with her Mother's Day poem. When we come back, it's the Bob Cordaro Show. What a nice song. Murph tells us this date, 1964, Peter and Gordon debuted with their first single, A World Without Love. What a great, man, I never heard from them again, or not aware of anything else they did, but hey, one-hit wonder is better than a no-hit wonder. And 1961 was the year. This was the date. Newton Minow, speaking to the National Association of Broadcasters in a much simpler time, the chairman of the FCC said the majority of television program is a vast wasteland. Now, this is I think, Beverly Hillbillies and Gomer Pyle and Green Acres. I mean, yeah, we had some great shows after that. All right, well, I promised you that our girl Lorraine would be with us and that she's got a poem, and she's got her Mother's Day poem. And a reminder, Big Cat says that Mother's Day is the only good thing that idiot Woodrow Wilson ever gave us. I agree with you, Big Cat. He was awful. Very Biden-like. And it is Lorraine from Hazleton. She has a poem for Mother's Day. Hi, darling.
Hi, honey.
How are you?
Hanging in, like the weather. Rainy.
We need the rain. We need the rain.
No. Wait.
What?
You need Lorraine.
Oh, God. See, this is why we stick to
Stop
poetry.
Stop it.
This is why we stick to poetry, Lorraine. Because you'll get out of hand. You and the Bulldog with your quips and whatever. Yeah.
Smart. I'll hang up right now.
He's giving you sound effects, the Bulldog. Well, he's jealous because he's not allowed to do any of this.
Well, I am.
Yes. All right. Well, you've got your beautiful Mother's Day poem. I'm happy you called again today to read that poem to a different hour of our listenership.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, here it goes. Mother's Day in heaven. I know you're in heaven, my dear mother, and you are watching me from above. I'm sitting alone and crying for you. Mother, I miss your tender love. I am sure you want me to be happy, just like you probably are. It's only that I want you near me, not so distant and so far. I dream about you often, and the dreams seem so real. If some of them would come true, an embrace from you I truly steal. I was born on Mother's Day. We were a gift to one another. I became your baby daughter, and God blessed me with the sweetest mother. I know you're smiling down on me as I sit and write this poem. Please pray for me and stay by my side until I see you again when God calls me home. Happy Mother's Day in heaven. Love, your baby daughter, Lorraine.
Nice. I love that. And so many of us, not myself included, thank God. Your mother has passed on, and that's what you have is memories for this day instead of actually being able to give your mother a hug on Mother's Day.
Yeah. Yep.
Great poem.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
And you think that goes back about almost 30 years, the poem?
Yes, it does. I wrote it for the first Mother's Day.
Well, I hope we'll be around together next year to do it one more time. All right, darling?
Maybe many more if I'm lucky.
Maybe
or if you're lucky.
We both have to get lucky, yeah.
Well.
Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, Fuzzy Wuzzy.
You have a good weekend, my darling. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll try. Bye now.
All right, bye-bye. Sweet Lorraine. How about that? Nice. One more call before the hour concludes. And we've got Doctor of Nursing, Mary Elaine Southard. It's Nurses Week, and you guys have a beautiful mass happening at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Talk to me about it.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks so much for taking my call. Yes, we're excited. We hope your listeners will join us at Divine Mercy Parish on Davis Street in Scranton for the celebration of National Nurses Week. I wanted to mention yesterday, I failed to, that, first of all, Father Tom Muldowney will be our celebrant. He's also an LPN before he became a priest. But Ann Griffith,
great. He's great. That's a
and
great
we're
mass.
Very lucky.
Yep.
He does. Also, Ann Griffiths is the alumni president of the Scranton State School of Nursing Alumni Association, and she will give a few words of reflection at the end of the Mass. So, it's going to be a wonderful celebration, and we hope, people join us. I believe that, when a nurse stands before a patient, God is also present. So we have to stand together in solidarity and celebrate as nurses together.
You brought a tear to my eye there, Mary Elaine. Oh, now
Well,
beautiful is that God's present when they're there. I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes the spiritual needs are not always looked upon in healthcare. We deal with the symptom and sometimes forget or neglect that aspect or that void for people. So it is very important, and we need to remember that. And we also need to remember why we chose this ministry, because it is a calling and a true vocation.
Dr. Mary Elaine Southard, this is Nurses Week. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, the Mass on Davis Street in Scranton. And, I know you've experienced this. I've observed it. A lot of the people that come to hospitals in particular, or that your nurses go to visit, they don't have much family. They don't have many friends. This is it's the kindest they're treated,
right?
Almost exclusively, not only all day, but maybe all week or all month when they have interaction with a nurse. It's a big deal.
Well, the Gallup poll for the last, I think, 22 years has voted nursing as the most trusted profession in the healthcare industry. And I think there's a reason for that. Nurses tend to spend more time with patients, and they listen. So I think, to your point as well, there's sometimes people don't have a lot of family, and they will tell the nurse some of their innermost thoughts and fears and concerns.
And the nurse being the only one that will receive this, this interaction.
Right.
That's, I appreciate it. I appreciate you reminding us of the Mass tomorrow and that it's Nurses Week this week, so that we could pay attention to that incredibly important profession. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob. Have a great day.
Dr. Mary Elaine Southard, Nurses Week. Thank you. We'll take a break because it's news time. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Great good morning, everyone. 10:09 a.m. here in the great Northeast. This beautiful Friday, May 9th, 2025. Why is it beautiful? Because we're all here, baby. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. It's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man, Patriot John Basiliga, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like Stephen Wedgenert, Old Forge, Raymond Casa, Suskin, Fritz Keeterling, West Pittston, Thomas Blight, Luzerne, Ronald Kraus, Upper Lehigh, Milton Hunzinger, Danville, Thomas Morris, West Scranton, James Wagner, Plymouth, Robert Godek, Covington Township, Thomas Gianetti, Taylor, George Smarecki, Taylor, William, Uncle Bill Spindler, West Scranton, Paul Roberts, Jefferson Township, and Craig Wood, Nanticoke. So, with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the club for common sense. Promising you a sanctuary of sanity, the balance of this morning. Yep. Somebody asking, Bob, could you ask the station to increase their transmitter strength? Signals weak in Falls and Tunkhannock Clark Summit areas. Well, you got to go to the app, maybe. WILK-Newsradio.com. You pray listen live, and you'll get it. Because we don't have the authority to do anything about the signal. The signal is what it is on 103.1. But you could also try us in the Scranton area on 9:10 a.m. and the Wilkes-Barre area at 9:80 a.m. Try that and let me know how it works out. Slick says, Bob, LTS, this will be my first Mother's Day without my mom. Lorraine brought a tear to my eye. Love it. And someone else texted in, Lorraine made me cry yesterday, and now she did, and she did it again. And she's going to do it again, LOL. Yep. Back to the trials of Chauncey. Going to the bathroom. He said, someone said, LTS, I have an English setter, and he gets distracted going to the bathroom when a bird farts. I know. Oh, and I don't know, what does he think he's going to... I got to start taking him out the back. But there's no, grass spots. I got to start taking him out the back, though, truly. Tom from Dallas says, Bob, in a few years, you'll just have a robot walk your dog. Well, now I want to take the dog. But Tom says, I'm a landscaper, and at a property the other day, they have a robot cutting their lawn, which is almost 2 acres. Yeah. Somebody else asking, this is, put on your button-up sweater. It's time for Prison Bob's Fireside Chats. Yeah. Oh, no, we won't do that. We won't do that. Well, the Abington Rotary, they just, it's just a great group. And they do a lot all year. But they've got a 5K run coming up. And we got Chris from the Abington Rotary on the blower with us. Chris, how are you?
I'm very wet right now.
You're not standing outside talking to me, are you?
Almost. I'm a volunteer on Fridays. I'm a volunteer at Steamtown, which is mostly an outside national park.
Oh, neat. How nice is that?
Well, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of kids here. We've got kids from Waverly Elementary and a couple of other Scranton schools here today.
Chris, it's really publicized in this area how great and interesting Steamtown National Historic Park is.
It is.
Why they don't really have a marketing budget, do they?
I don't think they have much of a budget for anything.
Yeah, because it's just, I don't know if you like trains, you like transportation, you like history. It's all there. It's all there at that Steamtown National Historic Site, and it's great that you volunteer, Chris. You're the man then. So not only do you help us out down there, but you're a Rotarian up in the Abingtons.
Yep, I'm with the Rotary Club of Abington, and we are almost to our 100th anniversary. We were founded in 1929.
Wow.
So in about 4 years, we're going to be 100 years old. And we are going to have a 5K run coming up on Memorial Day weekend on the 24th. With it's a very unique location. We're going to be running on the Northern Electric Trolley Trail out in Glenburn and Dalton.
That is a beautiful run. Wow. How do people tell us, give us the who, what, where, when, and why, and then how people get there? Because this is neat. Yeah. Well,
we are running this in conjunction with Scranton Running, which is a company that runs most of the races around here. And if you were go to their website, Scranton Running, and you would click on the race tab, it gives you an opportunity to look at all the different races that are upcoming in the next month. And we'll be right there. You just click on the register for the race. If you pre-register before Saturday the 24th, runners are $25 and walkers are $15. If you wait till the day of racing, of course, you're welcome to do that. It's a little more expensive. Runners are $30 and the walkers are $20. We'll be starting the race at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be mostly on the trail, but there will be some street running as well because the trail doesn't have a full 5K length. And we're also going to have basket raffles, and there will be awards, medals for the first 3 finishers in all the different age groups that you'll see there on the website.
Man, that's a lot of work putting this together, isn't it?
Well, when I joined Rotary, one of the first things I realized was that I have to learn how to say no. And
it doesn't sound like you've been very successful.
And so when I suggested as an opportunity to have a fundraiser and have an activity for the community, they said, okay, you got it. And so we've been working on it for about 6 or 8 months now. This will be our first one. And if it's successful, we hope to do it every year.
That is fascinating. Now, tell us a little bit more about. I actually love how like everybody else, and by the way, the Great North Scranton Rotary. There's great Rotary groups, but I like how you did your name, the Rotary of the Abingtons. I think that's special.
That's because we want to encompass not just the Clark Summit area, but all of the Abington areas and all the small communities up there. Everybody from LaPlume and Glenburn and Dalton, out in the Ransoms, anything that's out in the Abingtons, we want to encompass all that.
Chris Loftus is our guest. He is with the Rotary of the Abingtons. They have on May 24th, 9 a.m., their race. How do you get to where this race starts, Chris?
Yeah, the race will start and end in the parking lot of the Church of the Epiphany in Glenburn, which is located at 25 Churchill Road. If you are in Scranton, just come straight out through the gap on 611 and go through Clark Summit. And Glenburn is the next community, and it's within 100 feet of 611. And there's going to be parking for at least 60 cars. So we anticipate a good turnout.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great stuff. And you guys do this kind of thing all the time. I laud you. Let's make sure you call back to remind us about it as it gets closer. We could at least do a few minutes on it. But it's an important group. Our Rotary clubs are very, very important in the community. One of the groups that ties everybody together, really does. And this is another event.
And if any of your listeners have questions, as I said, go to the Scranton Running Club and they're a Scranton Running Company, and take a look at the race. Most of the information is there. But if anybody has any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them. You just give me a call. My area code is not local. It's 517. The number is 215-2329, and I'm available anytime to answer questions.
And you can answer questions about Steamtown too, right?
If you want, yes.
Is this the Scranton Running Store, or is this a separate group?
Scranton Running Club. It's the
running club. Yeah, okay.
It's right opposite Memorial Stadium. They're great guys. They're mostly runners themselves. You can go in there, buy apparel and shoes, and get good.
Oh, I buy my sneakers there every year. I'm actually due. I'm due to buy my sneakers. I participate on weekends in the Scranton Crawling Group.
Really?
Yes. So I don't know if I'll make it up to the run, but I look forward to hearing from you again. The 24th, 9 a.m., Glenburn. A great race and a great cause, the Abington Rotary, the Rotary of the Abingtons. Thank you, Chris Loftus.
Remember, Bob, you and your family can walk. If you're a crawler, you can also walk.
Okay. Maybe we'll have to do that. Not a bad idea. I appreciate it. Chris Loftus, Rotary of the Abingtons, Saturday the 24th, 9 a.m. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Bob. We'll talk to you again.
Take care of those kids.
Sure will.
All right. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Louis Armstrong. And the number one hit this date, 1964, Murph tells us, with that great song, Hello, Dolly. It doesn't get much better, does it? When the Saints and Hello, Dolly, signature songs. And before that, that was Richard Nixon. Did you hear most of it? He took this pre-dawn visit to Lincoln Memorial to talk with protesters who were sleeping on the memorial and around the memorial. Big protests against the Vietnam War and Kent State shootings. I don't know, it didn't do any good because nobody was listening to each other at the time. But it was a fascinating effort by Dick Nixon to, I don't know, sort of reach out, I guess. One of Nixon's best moments as president was reaction to the Agnes flood. And he came up to see real people here in Luzerne and Columbia counties, Wilkes-Barre area, and he loved the people here. He was a real guy. He loved real Americans. And this was an effort, didn't necessarily get rewarded, but he did it. Mother Teresa, St. Teresa for today, May 9th. She says, "My Jesus, do with me as you wish, as long as you wish." And she sacrificed her whole life for Jesus and for the poor and the disadvantaged. Mother Teresa. Jack from Florida, he says, "Good morning, Bob, to all the mothers in Northeast Pennsylvania. Have the most wonderful weekend. Whether you're blessed with children or four-legged furry friends, your motherly instincts and love are so important to the lives of so many. God bless you all." Thank you, Jack. Somebody says, "Bob, Biden all over the internet. I'm not leaving. Still thinks he's president. Pity the fool." He is a fool. What a total ass. We're going to play a little clip from this jackass right after the news next hour. Just a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. No, Andrew, your subjects are a little too, we're not getting into this today. I was going to call on Andrew from Jersey, but he sort of let us know what he wanted to talk about. We're not going to be blasting the Pope. He didn't do anything yet. Let's hold your powder. I mean, how frustrated do we get when they lie about the Republicans and Trump before they've even done anything? And say, oh, they cut this, they cut that, they're out to push wheelchairs over the cliff. And no. Let's give the guy a chance. Give the new Pope a chance. We really have to. We can't be doing this on our side as well. We just can't. Give people a chance to do what they're going to do, and then we'll analyze this. Okay, how'd it go? What did they really stand for? What did they accomplish? What did they not accomplish? And I do that with my political opponents. I did it with Biden. I did it with the mayor of Scranton. You got to give them a chance. What do they do? How does it impact us? Was it as bad as we thought? Was it better than we thought? Was it everything we thought it would be? No, Andrew from New Jersey, I hung up on you. We're not doing heavy-duty criticism of the Pope, who just got, he just became Pope yesterday. We're not doing it. We're not guessing what he's going to do. We're not assuming what he's going to do. None of that. But what we are going to do is hear from our great sponsors. and come back with our veterans. We've got 5 more to honor this hour, thanks to John Basiliga. We'll do all of that and the weather on the other side of this. Our veterans tribute to a series of veterans that we lost this year but celebrate today. Thanks to John Basiliga, the Basiliga Hospitality Group. As we head into the weekend, no better place to do Mother's Day or just have fun than the Old Brook Inn, 307 in Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern I had to take out last night. I can't wait to eat there again. On Far Street in the patriotic and great Trips Park section of West Scranton. Scranton Art House, the place to watch a movie or to schedule your event. I was there last Friday. It was just fantastic. Terra 519, my favorite restaurant. Doesn't get any better. Downtown Scranton. And underneath that, same address, 519 Linden Street, Sergei's. The nightclub. The nightclub. Milton Hunzinger. Born in Danville, he served us in the U.S. Navy, then went to work for PPL as a lineman supervisor. Surviving are his sons, 3 of them. His wife, Judy, preceded him in death in 2012. Member of the Wyoming Valley Country Club. Loved the golf. He refereed football for the PIAA for over 30 years. U.S. Navy man, Milton Hunzinger. Thomas Morris. He was 80 when we lost him February 18th. Proud veteran and sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps. No other information on this man, but he was a Marine. Say enough. Thomas Morris. James Wagner of Plymouth. January 17th, he died. A veteran of the U.S. Air Force. Worked with his father as a carpet installer and then as a tire technician and service manager at Tire Kingdom. He also worked at Walmart. He's a motorcycle guy. His sons and other family members survive him. James Wagner. Robert Godek of Covington Township. His wife, Roseanne, survives him. Born in Scranton, raised in the Polish National Catholic Church before joining the Roman Catholic Church. Member of St. Catherine of Siena in Moscow. Employed for most of his working career in the auto parts industry, he was a proud U.S. Navy veteran. His stepchildren and in addition to his wife, survive him. Step-grandchildren and a great-great-grandson, Ari. Robert Godek. Thomas Giannetti. He was from Taylor. Graduated from Fall Overfield High School. He worked for the Buckeye Pipeline until he had to retire. Veteran, he served this country with the U.S. Army. Survived by sister, brothers, and other family members. Thomas Giannetti. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality, the place to be this weekend, all of their great restaurants. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Ali Gallo. A flood watch is in effect for Lackawanna, Luzerne, Wayne, and Pike. Oh, and then there's another, and Susquehanna counties until 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Today, cloudy with rain, heavy at times, high 55. Tonight, clouds and showers, 45. Saturday, chance of morning showers, then breaks of sun, breezy, 68. Sunday, Mother's Day, though, oh, spring breaks out. Mostly sunny, high of 75. It's going to be gorgeous. Love it. So, yeah. Good morning and greetings, Bob ALTS. I believe the Weekend at Bernie's guy claimed that he brought back computer chips manufacturing to the country. It should be in his replay. What a space cadet. He's just a corrupt idiot and a scumbag. Go away. Jill Biden, go away. Hunter Biden, go away. Do not bother us again. We've already suffered your scumminess for 4 years. Dear God. It was a joke when you were a senator, but then you did real damage in the presidency with the clowns you brought into government. By the way, I watched the, I can't remember, well, it was with Brett Baer. Best, by the way, the best news there is. Best news, and I mean most balanced, most comprehensive, 6 o'clock on Fox News. So he has Marty McCary, he has RFK Jr., he's got Bhattacharya, and he's got Dr. Oz. You want to talk about top shelf to run Health and Human Services? Oh, I was so impressed. I said, man, they're going to hit it out of the park. They're going to question everything, which has to happen. Well, Trish Bainan is on the phone. She's Republican candidate for mayor of Scranton. And we welcome you back to the program. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
I'm great. I've been seeing your posters and all of that. Or whatever, yard signs, I guess they would be.
Yard signs. I have posters. I have billboards. I've got it all out there. I'm hoping.
Great.
I'm hoping that I'm going to be candidate. We'll see what happens. I'm very excited to even be running. This is wonderful, so I'm excited about it.
Well, we've had you on before. Go ahead.
You have? No. Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, we've had you on before, but I would love for you to tell us about you for those in the audience who don't know who Trish Bainan is.
Well, Trish Bainan was, I've been living in the city of Scranton for about 34 years now. I'm living on the west side of Scranton, and I'm running for Republican mayor, city of Scranton, just to hopefully make a positive change to this area. I have a daughter that, well, she moved away because she was worried about the crime in the area, so she moved away quite a few years ago. She's not too far away from me, but she's moved. And I'm just trying to, get my name out there and have people know that I'm really looking to help out
our city with the taxes and the blight and the crime, and work with the unions so they can get their voices heard, because I know they're not getting their voices heard with the elected officials we have. So I'm really hoping we can make positive change. And if people could go out May 20th and vote, I know some people think it's not important in a primary election, but it is super important in a primary, because that determines who goes on to the general and who's our next mayor or elected official. So I'm excited to do this, and I'm hoping people are out there and they're going to vote. It's real important.
Trish Bynum, what is your background? Tell us about you.
Well, I'm an accounting executive. I've been working in a construction industry for quite a while, accounts payable, accounts receivable, billing. I also, work with some city bids, so I'm familiar with the city, how it works with the bidding process. And I don't know what else I could really tell you about my mostly just accounting background, billing.
Well, that's what we need.
That's what you need. You need someone that has the ability to make change.
We have a current mayor who's frittered away $69 million and won't give us an accounting for it.
And won't give you, if you ever look at her budget, it's a lump sum of everything, but nothing's really branched out and broken down. So unless you're a CPA, you're not going to be able to figure this out very easily. And it's discouraging when you look at it. I'm like, what the heck? Like, this is what you're giving us to look at? I don't know if most people could even figure it out. It's sad. And then she's not even from the area, which is unfortunate, because people in this area, we're a tight-knit community, and we all know each other, and we care about each other. We work with each other if we need help. And she comes in, and I don't think she gets the whole idea of who we are as a city. And that's hurtful to, I think, a lot of residents. I think that they need someone in the area that understands the area better and gets
we're
it
merely
and really wants
a stepping stone for her, and she's got 5 years in office. We've seen nothing in terms of accomplishments.
Yes, nothing. She says the same things over and over again. She just keeps reiterating the same items that she's done, but nothing. To the average person, when I go door knocking, the average person is so frustrated, and they're worried about the taxes, working 2 jobs because they can't afford to make it on one job. They're worried about the blight. They're worried about. There's so many things that they're concerned about. Of course, the potholes, and she just doesn't talk about it. The crime went up like in the last few years, a couple of 100%. You could look that up. She doesn't talk about the crime. And
by the way, she's got her press secretary is the Scranton Times. They just don't report on any of the negatives. Nothing.
No, useless. They don't, and it's sad. The Scranton Times, and they're not fair. They're not. What they say half the time isn't truthful in the political realm of things, and that's unfortunate, because people should hear the truth. They should know who the people are, and they don't. I think that they kind of try to hide it because they're more or less one-sided, and it's not fair. It shouldn't be that way. You should be treated fairly. Like if you say something, it should go out there that way. They shouldn't try to change it around to benefit the other party. It's not right. It's very hurtful to the people, especially people like us trying to run for a political position. You want to be heard. You want people to know what you really are, who you really are. They don't want to hear a side of the story that isn't really true. It's not fair to the people.
Trish Bynum is our guest. She's running for the Republican nomination for the city of Scranton. We thank you for calling in. Make sure you do it again before the primary.
Yes, thank you. Make sure everybody goes out and votes May 20th. It's super important.
All right, thank you. Trish Bynum. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. The Doors auditioned to be the house band at Whiskey A Go-Go in West Hollywood, California. This date, 1966. Murph picked Light My Fire to celebrate that thought. I went into Whiskey A Go-Go when I lived out in L.A. Just had to see it. It was still open, but obviously the Doors weren't going to be there because this was 1985. You couldn't, to have been able to see the Doors in this tiny venue would have been, wow, what a thrill. What a thrill. Somebody said, sorry, Bob, Brett Baer doesn't know how to ask or follow up an interview with tough questions. He had Bernie Sanders on and let him off the hook. Yeah, he brought out the point. I don't agree with you. You made the point that the idiots flying around on private jets while he's talking about the oligarchy. What a phony idiot. Just an old fool. What are you going to do about it? I don't think any of that stuff. I'm still, that's the newscast I watch. And I watched the Bernie Sanders interview in parts. He asked the question. Bernie blatantly said, well, I'm not part of that. You know what we have to wait for, don't you? Well, the guess who? They had their only number one hit this date, 1970, with American Woman. And in 1994, this date, South Africa's newly elected parliament chose Nelson Mandela to be the country's first black president. And he was gracious and merciful and anything but a racist when he came in. Great stuff. Yeah, I'm going back. I'm going to keep defending Brett Baer. He asked the question of that old fool. And the answer, it's laying out there for us. Well, you know, I can't be waiting in line. And, you know, when I've got to be traveling multiple places. Well, I can come up with an excuse for your Mr. Green New Deal. You're Mr. I hate the oligarchs. You used to hate millionaires. Now that you're a millionaire, scammer, now it's just billionaire class, the billionaire class. What a phony. And it came across loud and clear. Anyway, somebody at Bob LTS yesterday on The View, not one question about why he pardoned his family, Fauci or Conahan. Well, you ain't going to get it there. It's a terrible show. It's like if you want to see intelligent women, you watch Outnumbered on Fox News at noon. It's a great show. Very informative. And here are smart, accomplished women. Not a bunch of dopes who played the game and are just left-wing boobs. Cabinet guy says, yeah, Pothole Page gets the photo op at the cricket field and the office run. What BS. I know it. Somebody texted in referencing biblical, but it's all broken up. And I want to read it, but I can't make out which direction it goes. Try it again. Try and text that in again. By the way, truck sales guy tells me. He says on the 20th at Allegiance Trucks on Underwood Road in Oliphant, they're going to have a powertrain tour for the S13 and the T14 truck. Exclusive look at their most advanced, fuel-efficient, and streamlined powertrain, the International S13. I love trucks. If that wasn't election day, I would have committed to going there already, but we've got to see truck sales guy. But on the 20th, up at Allegiance Trucks on Underwood Road, easy to find, they're going to show off their new truck. The new powertrain. That's great stuff. Thank you, Lou. Anyway, as we head to the top of the hour, yeah, let's give the Pope a chance. The new Pope. I gave the last one a chance. He disappointed me royally and in myriad ways. But it did not take away from my acknowledgement that he was a holy man, a good man. He's in heaven. He's in heaven. I'm as sure as I am of anything, he's in heaven. Pope Francis. The new guy, American, yeah, to nitpick, I was disappointed he didn't speak English yesterday. That's it, though. Other than that, I'm waiting. I'm watching. Let's see what the guy does. I mean, if he doesn't rail against capitalism like the last guy, if he doesn't get himself in the middle of this idiotic lie that is the Green New Deal and climate change. He's got to stand up to China, which Pope Francis did not do. He totally caved to China. He totally caved to Russia on its unprovoked attack of Ukraine. And I didn't see much defense of Christianity against being slaughtered and wiped out in the Middle East and Africa. I didn't see much defense there. That's what I want to see. And a defense of Western culture, which is the equivalent of Christianity. So let's see if he's strong, or let's see if he's left. And we'll give him time to do that. Well, we got to give Brian Hughes time for the news. We'll take a break. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. More after this. Great good morning, everyone. 11:09 a.m. here in the great Northeast this beautiful Friday, May 9, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans that John Basiliga presents to us today to celebrate. We lost them this year. Thomas Giannetti, Taylor, Robert Godek, Scranton, Covington Township, James Wagner, Plymouth, Thomas Morris, West Scranton, Milton Hunzinger, he was from Danville, Stephen Wejnert, Old Forge, Raymond Casa, Suskin, Frederick Fritz Keeterling, West Pittston, George Smerecki, Taylor, William Uncle Bill Spindler, West Scranton, Paul Roberts, Jefferson Township, and Craig Wood, Nanticoke. So, with history, Thomas Blight, Luzerne, Ronald Krause, Upper Lehigh. So, in history, our great founding fathers and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides. Let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense after that brief news break and a little bit of a piece from Idiot's appearance on The View yesterday. Yeah. Babylon B came in. Now, somebody texted in on the Pope. Said, I'm a lifelong Catholic, attended elementary and Catholic high school. If the new Pope believes in open borders, that's all you need to know about the new Pope. That's a tough one for a Catholic prelate. It's a matter of emphasis, though, I would tell you. But to ignore the fact that Islamists are destroying Europe and would love to destroy America, to ignore the fact that a country's culture and cohesiveness matter in terms of its viability, but we'll see. We will see. Yeah. Somebody says, interview with Joe Biden. Interview. So how do you feel about the results of the election? Joe Biden mumbles something about raisins, gets up, starts a fight with a houseplant in the corner. Oh, yeah, he had to be bailed out. That's just what that piece showed. All right, so Babylon B about the new pope. We could take it on the funny side. They say, what you need to know about the new pope. His previous job was at Whole Foods. A rags to riches story for the former deli counter clerk. He may not be Catholic, to be determined. Number 3, he hasn't appeared in a single Home Alone movie. And he somehow calls himself an important leader. Next, he doesn't have a wife or kids. Is that a red flag? Next, about the new pope. He's far less Crusades than some other popes. Next, he says he once beat Ocarina of Time with 3 hearts and no continues. I don't even know what that is. He describes himself as spiritual but not religious, whatever that means. Next interesting fact about the new pope. He chose his pope name as a tribute to his favorite Ninja Turtle. Next information on the new pope. He misses Sunday Mass during Bears season. He's a Chicagoan. Next, he's not your mediator between man and God. All right. The Babylon B. It's always, I'm telling you, it's always hilarious. Always hilarious. Now, 10 reasons. So this is Babylon B. 10 reasons Republicans haven't defunded Planned Parenthood yet. Number 1, they realized they had to organize their junk drawers first. Number 2, they were going to do it last week, but they had 847 fundraising events and just forgot. Number 3, if Planned Parenthood is defunded, it'll be harder for their mistresses to get abortions. Number 4 on the top 10 reasons, or the top reasons Republicans haven't defunded Planned Parenthood yet. Next, making laws and stuff is hard. Number 5, it will make liberals send money to Democrats and Republicans might lose the midterms. Number 6, why haven't they defunded Planned Parenthood yet? They don't want this defunding stuff to catch on. Number 7, they were under the impression that all laws were just made by executive orders now. Number 8, they're still wrestling with the nuanced issue of whether murdering babies is bad. Number 9, it's unreasonable for voters to expect legislators to actually do stuff. And number 10, the reason why they haven't defunded Planned Parenthood, yes, determining what to do with taxpayer funds is only 3% of what Congress does. All right. Oh, Lord. Well, it is. It's very, I love the Babylon Bee. I really do. An eagle firing an AR-15 emerges from the Vatican, indicating an American Pope has been selected. Another, Catholics frantically Google newly elected Pope to see if he's Catholic. And another, Bernie Sanders unveils his new gold-encrusted Beat the Oligarchy dirigible. Babylon Bee for today. Great stuff. Always very funny. Back on the Bob Cordaro Show. Somebody says, Bob, the Pope must not alienate the Latino population. They're the fastest growing part of the Catholic community. But they're not for unlimited migration. That's why Trump picked up so many votes. That, by the way, if the Pope would step up and say legal immigration should be available as much as possible, I can live with that because that's actually my position. Somebody says, LTS, Bob, one thing about the new Pope, he's more of an American than Biden is a Scrantonian. Yeah, yes. That's a good point and a very fair one. Oh, we're going to see. By the way, another shout out to our guy up at SCI Waymart, courtesy of our friend, registered nurse Kirk Matuszek, who works up there, and that's to Eric Courtney Brown, the big guy. God bless you. Well, on that note, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Dobie Gray. Murph says he moved it up to number 6. This date, 1973, with his hit Drift Away. I was distracted for a moment by they're showing on Fox the numerous instances of Joe Biden's disgraceful mental state as president. And by the way, a thing Trump, he tried to make nice with James Comey, which, see, he gets it now. You can't make nice with establishment creatures. Don't forget, James Comey, I mean, what an absolute disgrace. Constant liar, an embarrassment to be the head of the FBI. Ugh, disgraceful human. But he got fired this day, 2017. And I remember them showing it live on TV. He was in L.A. And I don't know if they took his jet away from him or something. But he was fired like right on the spot, which was beyond appropriate. And he was just a disgrace. So, yeah, Joe Biden, man, what is with this guy? Seriously. And for his wife to let him go out there, I'll tell you what, Jill Biden is becoming the disgrace. To go out there and babble. He's only got a couple of minutes in him at this point. After that, it's gibberish. And so she lets him go out there. He gets to the point very quickly that he can't even attempt to answer questions. And then she's got to all of a sudden be sitting next to him and answering everything because he can't. Wow. And it brings up the point to normal thinking Americans. Boy, did they take us for a pack of idiots. We're going to vote for this, and you lied to us about this guy's mental health? Yeah. Keep Joe Biden front and center as often and as long as possible. I mean it. Donald from Pittston. Hey, Donald, how are you?
Yeah, good. I just wanted to talk about the phone. We got to give a chance. But what I understand about the church anymore, the people that we're supporting them, like the Vances and the Trumps and with the Bibles he's passing out and doing stuff like that. And it seems like they're like they support the Democratic policies. It's like they're like liberal. It's like they want to be like popular with the media. They don't want the media to attack them, so they seem to be more liberal. Don't you agree? I think that's silly.
Well, there's a tough issue, and I say this as a Catholic. The migration is a tough issue. But what I would be saying, and wish they would say, is that they would make, instead of following a left-wing narrative, a globalist narrative, hey, legal immigration should be encouraged and should be an open and easier process for people from poorer countries. Just say that. Don't ignore the difference between legal and illegal immigration. And also, don't ignore, like Pope Francis did, the challenge to Christianity that Islamic fanaticism brings. And don't ignore what mass migration did, particularly as it relates to Islamists, not Muslims, Islamists, that is destroying Western Europe. And I hope this guy stands up to things.
I hope he supports tradition and his followers, the people that are going to church. You're like on the other side.
Yep.
Why would you condemn like Trump or Vance that are promoting the Catholic values, and you're like over with Harrison, Biden with transgender? I don't know about transgender. He didn't move on that, at least the Pope. Transgenderism and the abortion. Even Francis, he stood strong on that. Mm-hmm. But there's these other things that make no sense. How would he, if we have $300,000 a month on our border, bankrupt in our country?
Well, Donald, let me ask this question. Do you see my point? Look if he separates legal immigration
Right.
from illegal immigration,
That's fine.
I'm fine. Okay, I get it. You're right. There should be
Secure
opportunities
borders
in
with
this
legal
country.
gates.
Yeah.
Secure borders with legal gates.
Yep.
But don't say like we have to bring in 300,000 people and break up our social safety net. How would he like? We'll do this then. How would he like 30,000 a month? Not 300. We'll give him 30. We'll like lower it to 10% on his gate in Italy there on his border. He wouldn't like it. Would he take?
Well,
him
they don't let him into the Vatican. Vatican
Exactly.
City,
They wouldn't
they
want
don't
30.
come in.
They could take 50 of them up in Martha's Vineyard there, where they sent one plane they couldn't handle.
Yeah.
They're such hypocrites on this issue. Not abortion, on the immigration. It's horrible.
Well, let us hope. But I think you agree with me. Let's give this guy time.
Right, give a chance.
Let him get his feet wet, and then we'll see where he takes certain issues.
You did give Biden a chance. He turned out to be a failure.
Correct.
That's it. There's nothing you can do about it.
But he deserved the chance, and he was our president. So, okay, let's give him a chance.
After Afghanistan, you said this guy can't do the job. You're right. That was it. You gave him a chance. So there was nothing. People fail a lot of things. He failed as a president. Nothing you can do. You know.
Yeah, I want to see. Somebody came in with something pretty funny about the Pope here. Let's see. Well, I'll find it, but anyway. Somebody asked
like I said,
go ahead.
I don't mind. Like, you have to understand. Like I said, people fail at marriages. People fail at businesses. You failed. Okay, move on. Why do you keep going out and like embarrassing yourself? You can't really express himself too good. It's just sad. It's just see him out there doing that.
And they sort of have to do a tour because the grift is over. They can't steal money. They can't sell influence anymore. They can't sell Hunter's paintings to people that want favors. They can't even raise money for a Biden library, which, by the way, is a great thing. So they're out there trying to rehabilitate him so that they can make money the rest of his life. That's what they're doing.
It's sad. It's sad. I don't wish bad on anybody. I just wish he would just retire and go away.
And
just live a peaceful life, on Delaware Beach or whatever. I don't want. I wish everybody the best. That's
I despise him as much as anybody on the planet.
You don't want to see a guy. It's an embarrassment to Scranton. He keeps going out there and mentions Scranton.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. I don't know why they're bringing him out there like that. Everyone says the same thing.
Money.
It's time to just leave. Yeah, maybe
money. And by the way, they don't know any better. These are the Beverly Hillbillies. They really are, without the charm. That's the Biden family.
I think he'd be best served doing something behind the scenes, not showing himself like Carter did, like to just start maybe a charity for seniors or veterans or something on the side. Do something like that,
Nobody wants him.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody wants him to show up. He's a spent fuel rod. All right, Donald. Thank you, my man. Always appreciate it. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro Show. We've got some great sponsors. Then we've got some great veterans. And then we've got the weather. And then you, 570-883-0098. Well, Mother's Day weekend makes you think about, and the weekend makes you think about, where do we go? What do we do? Well, I could tell you from having first personal experience and getting takeout from the Far Street Tavern last night how great it is. That's up in the Trips Park section of West Scranton, the reimagined neighborhood bar. The Old Brook Inn, 307 in Springbrook Township, fabulous. Scranton Art House, the Art House, where I go see my movies. Enjoy a cocktail, hang around. I love the place, Lackawanna Avenue. Terra 519, just one of the great restaurants of all time on Linden Street, 519 in Scranton. And Sergei's The Nightclub. Enjoy your evenings. You can do it at Sergei's. William Uncle Bill Spindler. He was 74 when we lost him last December 22nd. Raised on the 9th Street section of West Scranton. Proud veteran. Graduate of West Scranton High School, where he served as team captain of the West Scranton wrestling program. Proud of his upbringing and never forgot where he came from. He often reminded always wear the old cleats. Survived by sisters and other family. Bill Spindler. George Smerecki, he was from Taylor. He was 86 when he passed, December 27th. He was from Old Forge. He was a member of the AMVETS, and they provided an honor guard for his interment at the Old Forge Cemetery. George Smerecki. Paul Roberts, he was from Jefferson Township. Passed away at the Gino Murley Veterans Center with his wife of 53 years, Claire, at his side. Paul Roberts. Craig Wood. He was 79 when he passed away December 11th. He was from Nanticoke. Son of the late Helene and Winifred Harry Wood. He's survived by his wife, Deborah, and other family members, including a daughter, Heather. Born in Baltimore, Maryland, grew up in Toms River, New Jersey. He was a Navy veteran with a great passion for the sea. Professional floor installer for 50 years. Craig Wood. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by Basiliga Hospitality and our man, John Basiliga. The Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Allie Gallo. Flood watch in effect for Lackawanna, Luzerne, Wayne, Pike, and Susquehanna counties until 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Today, cloudy with rain, heavy at times, 55. Tonight, clouds and showers, low 45. Saturday, a chance of morning showers, then breaks of sun, breezy. As the weather improves, it'll be about 68 tomorrow, and it gets good. Sunday, Mother's Day, mostly sunny, high 75. You know, you think about people that were part of your life, and a friend of mine had a funeral tomorrow that I'll probably be able to attend tomorrow morning. Butch Harding. Just a great guy and a character and fun. He was a private investigator. I used him for criminal cases I defended as a lawyer. And I just loved him. Loved him. And, yeah, but life is not, you know, you just see there's so much death that's part of life. And it makes you think, and I think of all the people telling me about their moms having passed away as we head into this Mother's Day weekend, and it's even more frequent when we get to Father's Day next month. It's part of the deal, and we got to accept it, I guess. Well, what's the choice? There is no choice. It's what it is. And if we're fortunate, as I said in the first hour, that 40 minutes standing in the rain with an umbrella, I add, with Chauncey waiting for him to go gagarooch. If that's as bad as it gets, man, I'm doing pretty good. Right? A couple of texts I wanted to get to. Who else are the Dems going to put out there? Even Biden in his diminished state had, and I emphasize had, says the listener, a likable trait, even though he's a criminal. They're going to roll out, who are they going to roll out, Jasmine Crockett or Bernie Sanders? It's the Star Wars bar. You're so right. It's true. You imagine this? Somebody says, keep in mind, Bob, what you just stated about Comey when telling us what good guys the local Democrats are. I have a hard time. Well, I get your point. I really do. And they're supporting all this insanity. And they shouldn't be. And it's stupid. But let's go back to Biden. Let's just get his name off the expressway and the street. Stop embarrassing us. What are we going to call it? You going to call it name it after Jasmine Crockett or Bernie Sanders? So he said, Bob, I disagree with you on this one. From 1929 to 1965, we did not have anybody brought into this country. In other words, the doors were closed. We need at least 10 years to assimilate the millions that have been allowed in here. Oh, I don't disagree with you. But see, this is where I go to Trump's philosophy on this. And why again, another policy area he's right. Keep the illegals out, but invite talented people in. Invite talented people in, always. Let's see. This is a text that I want to touch. So I agree with you. And we did, until Lyndon Johnson screwed everything up, that scumbag, and completely upset the cultural balance in the country. Yeah. We closed the doors, no doubt about it. But I know a lot of people that got in those years. But it was a trickle. I agree. Somebody said, Bob, I'm 56 years old. Biden's by far the worst president in my lifetime. How could he not be? He's the worst president ever. He is. Now, this text is a little confused because it comes in on multiple lines for some reason. I lost 2 sons. The last time I saw my oldest son was Mother's Day 2015. He was killed at Waste Reduction and Recycling. It's a horrible day for us. So Mother's Day, I say this, thank you for that text. These celebrations are not, I say it about Christmas, I say it about all the holidays. They're not Ozzie and Harriet for everybody. And I'm so sorry for you and your family. That makes it a tough day. All right. On that unhappy note, because there are unhappy notes in life. It's what is. We'll take a break. Frank Sinatra and Gerard Mayer waiting on the other side of this commercial. Let's hear from our great sponsors. Let's hear from them. And then we'll come back and maybe we'll hear from you. 570-883-0098. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Yeah, thanks, Gerard. Thanks, Frank. For all of you, because we add listeners every day, and we're very happy for that. You choose to join our large dysfunctional family. I started at noon to 3, replacing Rush Limbaugh. And then I begged the gang here, could I move to 9 to noon, just to accommodate life a little more. And they graciously allowed me to do that, thank God. And so I said, well, we can't give up Frank because we used to do 2:45 every day. So my man Gerard Mayer came up with 1/4 to noon. And I said, well, we can't dump Frank. Where is it 2:45 in the morning in the world? Well, Guadalcanal. And our man Rick Bigelow, who is an expert on our military history, and we have him on quite often. We love it. He let me know that Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, it's 2:45 there, except daylight savings, which is now. So we're at Guadalcanal until what? October, the end of October? And Frank's he's on a bar stool, doing his thing, playing a torch song. Yep. Somebody texted in, Bob, Biden's handlers must stop doing this to his failed presidency. Just fade away for the betterment of America and all of society. See, we know that, but please remember how delusional these people are. They think he had a well, at least let's put it this way. They say he had a successful and consequential presidency. They say, and they're the same people who lied to us about his mental acuity, which he didn't have much before he started losing his marbles. And so, I mean, he was just a goof and a gaffe machine. And everybody got a kick out of him because God knows what he was going to say next. He was a silly joke who thought he was a lot smarter than he was and was too dumb to know any different. Somebody says it's 11:15 for the dysfunctioning. Oh, guys in Bentonville. It's 11:15 for the dysfunctional family members we have in Bentonville, Arkansas. Well, we might have to have Gerard Mayer do something about that. We'll be back. Billy Joel. Murph tells us this date, 1949. He was born in the Bronx, New York. Piano Man. I say this, and some of you may disagree, but it's hard to disagree because the versatility of Billy Joel is such. I said if you were allowed, let us say, you were allowed to have one musician, just one musical artist, who would it be? I think you'd have to pick Billy Joel. I really do. I mean, he did rock, he did disco, he does classical, he could do anything. So tribute to him. I got to see, what was it? Not this past year, but the year before. Well, no, last year in May, because in the December show was canceled in Madison Square Garden, and we got to see him, Cutie and I and her family. It was just fantastic. And I told you, I mean, not that anybody should remember, that in 1978 he was at the Scranton CYC. He was actually at the height of his fame then in a lot of ways. Had the big album, The Stranger and everything coming out. Anyway, we couldn't go see him because we had a Dunmore High School football banquet. And me and my buddy Bobby Cuff, we thought, well, they might appoint us captains. Well, they didn't because I wasn't the most cooperative football player, so I wasn't. I don't know why they didn't pick Cuff, but regardless, I missed the Billy Joel concert. All our friends went for the banquet, which was a waste to go to. I was only a junior. What's the point? But finally got to see him, and, man, one of the best. So he said, Bob, no disrespect to Billy Joel, but Tom Waits is the greatest performer I've ever seen or heard. Where's he from? Tom Waits. Somebody else says Queen. But no, I'm talking about if you had one performer, they'd have to play all genres of music. That's what I'm talking about. They have to play all genres of music. Who would that be? It'd have to be Billy Joel. I don't know Tom Waits. I think I forget. I'm sure he's great, but, I mean, he'd have to do everything for us musically. And I don't see anybody topping Billy Joel on that front. Well, we're finishing with Ray Stevens. And Murph told us he moved from number 16 to number 7 with his hit, Everything is Beautiful. This date, 1970. And he said, let's close with that. Because everything is beautiful. You look at it the right way. The final mention of our veterans, brought to you by John Basiliga. Craig Wood, Nanacoke. Paul Roverts, Jefferson Township. George Smarecki, Taylor. William Uncle Bill Spindler, West Scranton. Thomas Gianetti, Taylor. Robert Godek, Scranton. James Wagner, Plymouth. Thomas Morris, West Scranton. Milton Hunzinger, Danville. Stephen Wejnert, Old Forge. Raymond Casa, Suskin. Frederick Freitz Keeterling, West Pittston. Thomas Blight, Luzerne. And Ronald Krause, Upper Lehigh. God bless them and their families. As always on a Friday, or as we mostly do on Fridays, we close with the music in the background with the policeman's prayer provided by our man, Nicky DeSando. Lord, bless the ones who wear the badge, the ones who walk the beat, protect and keep them safe while they are on the street. As they wait and as they watch, doing good for all, guide their minds and give them strength for each and every call. Ready to put their lives on the line, give them courage each day. Let them know you're always there in each and every way. So bless the ones who wear the badge, protect them from harm, always keep them safe and in your loving arms. The thin blue line. Think of them as we get into this weekend. And then, of course, tomorrow never comes, especially as we think of mothers lost and others lost. Norma Cornett Merrick and the obit of Doreen Goriab. If I knew it would be the last time that I'd see you walk out the door, I would give you a hug and kiss and call you back for just one more. If I knew it would be the last time, I would spare an extra minute or two to stop and say I love you instead of assuming you know I do. So just in case tomorrow never comes and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you and I hope we will never forget. Tomorrow isn't promised to anyone, young or old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, a hug, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their final wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear that you love them very much and you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. Guys, have a safe weekend. God bless the mothers with us and not. Celebrate them either way on Sunday. No matter what, they've given us so much. You guys have a great weekend. Great to be with you. God willing, I will be with you Monday. That's all up to somebody else, though, isn't it? Have a great weekend. But for now, the Club for Common Sense adjourned. Adios.